Hey everybody, welcome to Mortgage Today for Friday, March 1st, 2024, and oh, what a day it was. UMBS were down 3 basis points on the open. Seemed like down 3 or up 3 is just the norm lately on the morning. Sentiment in equity markets turned more cautious after drawing encouragement from Thursday's U.S. data. The Federal Reserve's preferred inflation measure on personal consumption expenditures rose in January at the fastest pace in nearly a year, but matched economists' forecast. Traders were also confronted by jobless claims data that indicated labor market softening. The New York Community Bancorp, which is the parent company to Flagstar Bank, fell as much as 32% pre-market after identifying material weaknesses in how it tracks loan risks. February was a mirror image compared to the same month of last year in terms of performance for mortgage investors. The US MBS index lost 29 basis points in excess return versus the Treasury last month, the same exact tally that it lost in February of 2023. The Treasury curve flattened by a scant 7 basis points, led by the short end, as investors essentially have their forecast for Fed rate cuts this year from 6 to 3. We got ISM Manufacturing, which came in at 47.8 on a 49.5 forecast. It was 49 previously. ISM prices came in at 52.5 versus 52.9 previously. Consumer sentiment came in at 76.9 versus 79.6. It was 79 previously. And expectations for 1 year are up 0.1%. 5 years unchanged. Bonds were drifting into weaker territory ahead of this morning's economic data of the two flavors of ISM PMI. The manufacturing version is far less of a market mover, but still no slouch. Modest losses immediately turned into modest gains. The ISM Manufacturing Friday brought the only other reasonably important economic report of the week after Thursday's PCE data, and it did not disappoint. Well, actually, it did not disappoint anyone hoping to see strength and resilience in the sector, which is why it did not disappoint those hoping to see lower rates. Not only did the headline dip well into the contractionary territory, but the employment gauge was the second lowest since breaking out of the COVID lockdown period in mid-2020. Timing matters with the big jobs report looming next Friday. Prices also decelerated slightly. With that, bonds surged to the best levels in more than 2 weeks, effectively taking a lead off before confirming a friendly range breakout. Caveat that confirmation requires next week's data to avoid crushing expectations. UMBS ended the day up 22 basis points at 100.61. So 100.61 puts us above that Fibonacci line, so hopefully it can stay there, but it got held up by that downward sloping 25-day moving average, pretty much stopped it on its tracks there, so hopefully we can stay above that Fibonacci line for good. In a bold move straight out of How to Make Enemies and Influence Lawsuits playbook, Loan Factory and its CEO Thanh Nguyen have found themselves in the legal spotlight. The lead plaintiff, Derek Daniel Bobadilla, and his fellow loan originators are crying foul over Nguyen's apparent hobby of collecting loan officers' identities like baseball cards without the courtesy of asking first. Imagine their surprise in finding their smiling faces, names, and digits unwillingly starring in Nguyen's online directory, pitching for a team they never signed to play on. With Douglas Johnson of the legal powerhouse Johnson & Johnson leading the charge, this group is accusing Loan Factory of a sneaky play to reroute internet traffic and potential business by showcasing them as Loan Factory's unofficial mascots. They're not just mad, they are lawsuit level mad, claiming theft of intellectual sparkle and demanding compensation for the unauthorized cameo appearances of their professional personas. All the alliteration aside, basically it is alleged that Loan Factory put about 27,000 different loan officers' information on their website as if they worked at Loan Factory. Not good. Looking at next week's data, on Monday we have a Fed Harker speech which could move the markets. We get ISM PMI on Tuesday, as well as global S&P Global Services PMI and factory orders, Fed bar speech as well. So all of those guys seem to move the markets with the flick of their tongue. We also get ADP jobs on Wednesday. That's going to be huge. That's going to be important. Fed Daily speech. We also get Beige Book and Fed Powell testimony. Then on Thursday, we get jobless claims, more Fed Powell testimony, as well as Meester speaking. And on Friday, we get non farm payroll. So it's going to be a wild week. Get some rest. And for things you can control, check out our sponsor at, well, thatmakessense.com. Learn some new stuff that will make you money.